my apologies if you tried to watch me yesterday. My distinct apologies that I wasn't live yesterday as previously planned. Unfortunately, we had no internet yesterday until Paul came home and fixed it for me about lunchtime. But later than I was going to go live, and then I had other things to do. And of course, yesterday I had a lovely big long day. The kids were on a trip, 8 o'clock in the morning till 6 o'clock in the evening. I had 10 solid hours of peace and quiet, and a huge list of things to do that were all web-based. So photos to edit, online with live with you guys, all blog posts to write, but all things sort of like web-based that I needed to be online to do. And we woke up and the internet's gone. And Paul looked up and said, oh, apparently they're doing some maintenance. I was like, okay, fine. And then he looked up later and said, well, they finished the maintenance. Well, that's fine, but it's still not working. So I don't know what happened. He had to come home and kind of re-enter passwords and things in the router and what have you, and then we were back on again, but then I still had masses to do, and so the live had to wait. So I'm popping in quickly to do it today. I'm running a bit late. I said 10 o'clock. I don't know why I said 10 o'clock. I was a little bit rash. It was obviously late last night when I said that, because I met some mums at the school gates. We were having a chat because all the kids had been on that trip, so we were having a chat about that. And then I remembered that I had to go and collect my shopping. So I'd ordered my shopping online, but done it where you collect it from the store. So they've done all the hard work. They've picked it for you. You just go and collect it. And that saves you paying about £6 to have it delivered on a Friday morning. But I'd booked the 9 till 10 slot. So I had to go and do that. So having chatted a bit longer than I should have done, I dashed off to the supermarket to collect my shopping. And when I got there, it's only the third time I've collected my shopping. The first 2 times I've gone along, the name's Moody, they've given me the shopping. Today I get there, the name's Moody, they go, oh, have you got the orders in your husband's name? Have you got proof that you're Mrs. Moody? You know, your driving licence or something. I was like, yeah, that's okay, that's fine. Open my purse, my driving licence wasn't in there. So then I was like, ah, where's my driving licence? What's happened to it? Have I lost it? Has somebody stolen it? Have the kids taken it? You know, all these things. But where's it gone? Why don't I have it? What's going on? Came home, took everything out of my... I'm like, I'm meant to be live in 15 minutes. I've got to take everything out of my purse. Not in my purse. Oh no, I'm going to have to order a new one. They'll probably charge me. So I phoned Paul and I was like, any ideas where my driving licence might be? Oh yes, I've got it. Right, okay, bye. And basically before Christmas, that's how long it's been missing and I haven't noticed. Before Christmas, we needed to collect a parcel from the sorting office, but the parcel was in my name. But I won't take my car to the sorting office because the car park is triangular in shape and very small, and I refuse point blankly to put my car in there, or more crucially, get it back out of there again. So Paul had gone to the sorting office, but because the parcel was in my name, he had to take proof of person for me. So he'd taken my driving licence and he left it in his wallet. So at least I found the driving licence. But of course, by the time I got home and the shopping needed putting away, and I thought I'd better make a quick cup of tea as well, because I haven't had one of these since about 7:30. Quick swig, hope you don't mind. I'll move it closer. Yeah. So, and then, yeah, so it was just kind of like, I'm going to be a few minutes late. But I've done it now. I've done it. It is freezing out there. If you're going out this morning, it's very cold. Paul came in this morning going, I can't get into the car. His poor car, he's just running that really old car, and we'd love him to have a new car. But he only does about 10 miles a day. But to be fair, that's probably about 5 miles a day more than I do, to be fair. But it's kind of just not worth replacing it. But everything is going on it. Kind of just, it works, but just much more slowly. You know, as you get older, you can still do all the things you did before. You just do them slower. Well, Paul's car's like that. It can still do all the things it did before, it just does them slower. So including defogging the windscreen. So he went out there, the locks had all frozen, and then the front windscreen had frozen on both sides. It now freezes on the outside and the inside because he gets bad condensation inside the car because some of the seals have started to go. So that if it's cold enough, the inside freezes as well as the outside. So it takes him twice as long to defrost it. Normally he keeps it in the garage. A couple of weeks ago he put it in the garage and they couldn't get the garage door shut. He was panicking because he needed to go to work and we couldn't shut the garage door. And we're like, well, what are we going to do? We've got to shut the garage door. There's stuff in there. There's not that much stuff in there, but there is stuff in there that I don't want nicked. Eventually, about 20 minutes, after 20 minutes of pushing and shoving and generally jiggling the garage door shut, and then I don't know what was wrong with it, because, and we were like, oh, we ought to call a man out to look at it, and then never got round to it. And then on the weekend, Paul was like, I'm going to try and open the garage door. We've got a double garage, so he kind of went in the other side, which we don't use, but he had stuff piled up against it on the other side, so when he opened the door, stuff fell out. We managed to climb over all of that, and then he opened the other garage door from the inside, and it was absolutely fine. I don't know what happened, why it wouldn't open that time, or sorry, close at that time, but it's fine again. So whether something had just caught, gone funny, or whatever. So Jen says, you need some pad things for the inside if it's freezing up. Husband's car has the same problem. I can share details if you want. Yes, let me know. I think he's got a leak in there somewhere as well. He keeps complaining that the passenger the footwell's at the back, but nobody sits in the back really, so it's not really a problem. There's only him, but the floor's all wet, so he thinks a seal has gone somewhere. So he's actually got some old socks filled with cat litter because they absorb the moisture in that footwell to soak up some of the moisture that's coming on the inside of the car. So perhaps these pad things do a similar thing. Maybe they absorb the moisture perhaps. So he's got one of those covers for the front of the windscreen, but he hadn't put it on last night, and he hadn't put the car in the garage either, which is why he then had a very frozen car. So, but he did defrost a lot of my car while he was waiting for his car. He did then start on my car, so at least I didn't have to do mine. So although even in the 20 minutes between him leaving and me leaving, mine had already frozen up again. Some of the water droplets had already refrozen. So that's how cold it is. And the kids at school, the playground was an ice rink. Oh, it was lethal. It was really bad. Right, tea. And then I am going to make a card with you today, which I promised I would start to do. So I am going to make a card with you today. And we are going to make this card, and it'll be backwards for now. And then I'll switch around so that we're over the desk, and then hopefully everything will be forwards again. A couple of you on here were actually in class last week where we actually made this card in my class last week. But I thought we'll make it here today. So one of the things I did, so we meet monthly, my class, the first Friday of the month, we meet here in Rugby. We make 6 projects, 3 designs, 2 of each. So this month we made this one, which you're seeing today, and then 2 that you've already seen on the blog during the week. We made this one where we did loads of great colouring in, and we did this one with all the funky paper and stuff. This is the Inside the Line celebration paper, and this is Tasty Trucks, which is also a celebration item. So we made these 3 cards, and I always share my cards from class. We made 2 of each of these, and people who attend get their cards for free if they purchase a minimum amount from Stampin' Up products. So most people choose to do that, why not? And then they get their cards for free. But one of the things I've done for the first time this month, and I'm hoping to be able to offer it every month, and I'm hoping I'm not signing myself up to something I then regret, is I've then actually produced PDF sheets for these. PDF instruction sheets, just one sheet, you know, just with a photograph and then basic instructions for how to make the card. And I have given those, I have put them in my VIP Stampers group. So everybody who orders from me, all my customers, regardless of how much they spend, I don't care if you only spend a couple of pence, all my customers get the option to go in my VIP Stampers Facebook group. And in there, there's a chance to win a prize each month, although I've been a bit slack on that this month. I need to sort that out. There's a chance to win a prize for sharing your order or sharing your projects, things you've been making through the course of the month. It's a way for me to easily communicate with you as well, which is always handy too. And I share things that I've seen that I think will interest my customers. And so I tried to give them a little something extra. So I've started doing it so that I share the tutorials then for the cards we made in class, share a PDF tutorial for each card into that group, so that they've got them to refer to, or perhaps if they weren't able to make class that month. I had one lady who gave me her order, but she couldn't come. She wasn't able to come. It was her daughter's birthday. And so she'd asked if she could see at least what we were, she gave me an order, and can I see at least what we're making? So that was partly what kind of incentivized me to do it, was little PDFs those. For this month only, so that I can share that, I'm also going to include this PDF in my newsletter. That will go out tonight. So if you haven't already signed up for my newsletter, when I post this, when we finish doing live and I post it as a recording, I will put the link to my newsletter in the doodah, little bit of waffle at the top, that bit. And for one time only, I will include these PDFs free to all my newsletter subscribers. Okay, so that goes out tonight. So you need to sign up. That goes out 5 o'clock GMT, my time, 5 o'clock my time. Okay, so today, we're going to make this card from that class. So, and I'm going to make it completely from scratch, because sometimes I think that as demonstrators, we assume that you know how to do every single element, that you know exactly how to do it. And I don't think that's necessarily right. And we shouldn't make that assumption as demonstrators. We shouldn't assume that you already know everything. So I'm going to make it completely from scratch, the card base, everything. I haven't got all the stuff out, which I should have prepared. So you might hear me scrabbling around a little bit in boxes as I find stuff. Things are a bit tidier in here. If you saw on my Stamping with Val Facebook page a few days ago, I posted a picture of my almost empty ink caddy with all my ink pads stacked up next to it. I have actually put them all back in the caddy now. So that little area is a little bit tidier now, because actually all my ink pads are back in their caddy now. Because I kind of, by posting it onto you, I kind of embarrassed myself into tidying up, basically, is what it amounts to. I was then kind of like, I really should do, there's no excuse for that, really. So it is all tidy now. So the desk is a little bit tidier. It's not tidy, but it's a little bit tidier than it was, which helps, because then we can use the desk to make a card. So I'm going to have another big swig of this, and then we'll rejig the camera, and then we'll have a go at making this card. Then we'll have another little bit of a chat, and then I'd better get on and do some other stuff. So, right, hang on. So here we are. Here we are. So the first thing we're going to need for this card, oh, see, the picture is perfect on my camera screen, but on my iPad screen, you're ever so slightly blurry. So, but that's fine. So to make this card, the first thing we're going to need is a black card base, and it is half a sheet of A4 lengthwise and scored through the middle. But like I say, I'm not going to assume that you know how to do anything. So, paper trimmer, sheet of black A4 card. Okay, now this is European A4. It's the same for the Australians but different for the Americans. I want the score on this long side this way. Now whenever I do card bases, I always do the whole sheet of card, because I'll use the other half, the other card base in another card at some point. Okay, halfway for this card is 14.85 centimeters. I know that's a bit horrible, but fair enough. And then you just run your scoring tool down there, and the whole sheet of card now has a lovely score line through the middle of it. Okay, now we pop it back in the other way round. This is 21 centimetres across, so half of that's 10.5. Okay, and this time we cut and we run it up. So now we've got a nice long piece. Which way is best? That way maybe, with a score through the centre that we can then just fold in half. Okay, you've got a second card base there. You can either use it for another card, or I always think it's a great idea to make both cards at the same time. Make two at once. Because you might as well. It's actually going to take you no time at all to make this card at the same time as making that card. It really isn't. Okay. And then you've got one to send and one to keep if you don't like to send them. Which lots of ladies don't like to send them. Lots of ladies can't bear to part with them once they've made them. And that's fine. We've all had that. I've had that. That comes out so well. Like, I don't want to send it. I like it. It's like a little work of art. So don't worry. You're not... Everybody has that. Okay. So then you've got one to send and one to keep if you make both at the same time. So the next thing we are going to need, okay, for our card, here's the original, is a piece of crushed curry for this panel. And it's kind of like a banner, but I haven't cut banner ends into it because obviously we've put the candles in it instead. I'm going to use my big paper trimmer because the blade on that other one is a bit woolly, to be honest. If I'm honest, I'm going to start off cutting this to the same width as my card base, and you'll see why. We're going to trim it down later, but I'm going to cut it to 10.5 to begin with, crosswards. And then if I'm going to make two, I'm going to cut two. The piece, the panel is 12 centimetres long. So 12 centimetres. So we've got a panel 10.5 by 12 centimetres. There we go. Line that out of the way a minute. I'll pop those to one side as well. And then the next thing we're going to be using is we're going to be using this brand new candle border punch. Now I love it, and one of the reasons for showing this card with you was actually a lady in class hadn't used a border punch before, and again I made the assumption that everybody in class knew what they were doing with that punch. And it's only when I looked over and I saw that she'd punched once and she had the punch upside down, you know, like when we're trying to line up punches, and she was trying to line up her candles upside down. And I said to her, oh, you don't need to do that for this style of punch, because you've got them marked on the front here. So you don't have to turn it upside down to see to line it up. But as demonstrators, sometimes we assume that everybody knows what they're doing all the time. And sometimes it's simply that they haven't experienced that product before. So I like to start in the middle. So I've slipped my piece of card into the punch and I'm going to centre it. And you're just going to punch down. And that's going to punch our first little row of candles. Now, all you do, pop it back in, is you actually slide your piece of card. I'm going to go to the left first. And basically you line up the ones you've already punched. You line them up so that the silver ones marked on here line up. So you see the silver ones through the holes, okay? And then you punch again. And then you'll find that they've lined up perfectly this way. And then you slide it across this way. To there. And you punch again. And there you have a perfect row of candles along the bottom. So I'll go ahead and do it with this one. So slide it across. This one actually punches quite a few already. Okay, you don't want to bring it all the way out so that you see the last candle you punch lined up to here, because you'll end up with a gap. So you need to slide in one set and punch, and then the same on this side and punch. There you go. Okay, underneath you've got a whole little thing of candles. You can hold on to those if you so wish. I'm not going to. If I kept every scrap of card, oh my word, never mind knee deep in it, it'd be over the top of my head, I'd be drowning. Right then, because I kind of want, being a little on the OCD side, Okay, I want a bit of neatness. Okay, I like them to be neat either side. I'm a bit funny like that. Okay, and that's why I cut the card a little bit wider to begin with. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim it up, and I've trimmed it up so that I ended up with 5 of the tall straight candles with 1 at each end. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this end I'm going to keep. So I'm just going to trim off right up where the last the candle was next to it. I'm going to trim that off so that it still ends up with a bit of an edge. And I'm going to turn around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's this one here. So again, right to the candle next to it and cut. And it ends up about 8.5 centimeters wide. Okay. So same again, I'm just going to take off that edge, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that way I just get it neat. I don't want half a candle off the edges. I couldn't cope with that. That would be too much for me to handle. Too much, not quite straight enough. So here we are, I've got 2 of those. So next on our card, we're going to deal with our sentiment. This sentiment actually comes from the window shopping stamp set, which I'm now going to rummage about and try and find. There we go. And I found it. There we go. As you can see, well inked. Okay. Let's find a block to pop it on. And believe it or not, this is actually quite a quick card. So what I like to do when I'm mounting stamps onto blocks, clear ones, is if it's like a sentiment like this, I like to actually put the stamp using on my grid lines on my mat, or if you've got grid paper, I put it straight on there, and then I put the block straight on top using the grids as well, so that I have it straight onto the block as best as I can anyway. Okay, so what I'm going to do first, to save me cleaning the stamp halfway through, I am going to look for the bits of white paper that I had to hand, and I've now, what have I done with it? It's in here. So I've stamped this sentiment twice. I've stamped it once in black ink straight onto here, and then I've stamped it again in Bermuda Bay ink onto a scrap of white, and then I've trimmed out the birthday. So I'm going to do the Bermuda first, and then I don't have to worry too much about cleaning the ink pad before I stamp in black, as opposed to the other way around. Now, looking at this ink pad, I maybe should have re-inked it after class last week. It looks a bit thin on the ground. Okay, so I'm going to pop it. This piece of card again is 10.5 centimeters wide, so the same as that. I'm going to line it up to the bottom of the piece of card, and I'm going to get it as centrally as I can manage. Is that on the screen? It is on the screen. Not bad. I'll ink up all sort of round the... Okay, I'm going to go ahead. If I put my card straight, I should be able to do another one above. Like so. Marvellous. Look, I'll put it straight back in the caddy, look. Right then, I'll pop those to one side for a minute, okay? And I'll do a quick clean of the stamp, which usually just involves my cardigan or my trousers or whatever I happen to be wearing at the time. And then we're going to stamp it in black. Okay, onto here. Now go ahead, there's a few of you watching, but even if you end up watching this on the recording, leave me a comment, let me know what you think of the card I'm making, let me know if you do things differently. Perhaps you've got a different way of mounting your sentiments straight onto a block that works really well. Things like that, let me know, leave me a comment, because at the tomorrow, at some point over the weekend, I'm going to choose 2 comments and I'm going to send you this card. Okay, because I can do that regardless of where you live in the world. I've tried to send other things in the past, and you have to be careful with product. And so the plan is, going forward, the card I make in the Facebook Live, I'm going to send out to 2 people who comment, share, things like that. So make sure you leave me a comment so that you can get the card sent to you. What I'll do is I'll send you a note with the card, but I won't write in the card, and then you can use it to send to somebody you know. Okay, so I'm just inking this up again in black. I use my grid lines all the time to try and make sure that I've got things straight. I have a thing about things being straight. There we are. So now I've got that stamped onto there. Okay, we're getting there. I'll pop those over there. We'll bring the Bermuda ones that I stamped onto the white card back in. I'm going to grab my paper trimmer again. So I'm going to trim just a smidgen off the bottom of there. So we're just looking to get the word birthday. Okay, that's what we're after. Right, woo, helps if it's the right way up, doesn't it? There we go, birthday, in a little strip like that. Okay, and go ahead and do the second one. Yeah, about that. There we go. So 2 lots of birthday on a strip. Okay, all we have left to do then is to cut some little banner ends into those, and I'm just going to shorten it up slightly as I do it. I'm using huge scissors and I probably shouldn't. Let's find some smaller ones. So nice paper snips, that's what we want. Okay, so the way to do this, you could pop this in a banner punch if you've got one that's the right width to fit. If you haven't, this is the technique I use. I actually got it from a convention I went to a few years ago. And what you do is you snip up the middle like that. And then from each corner, and I'm coming off the corner a smidgen because I want to just make it a little bit shorter. You come up to where you met your centre point. And hopefully you end up with a nice even banner. Okay, I'm going to do the same from this end. Trying to get it about the same. I'm not sure that it'll be exactly the same, but I shall do my best. There we are. I'm not quite sure birthday's 100% in the middle either on that one, but never mind. So up from the centre and then in a little bit from each corner. I have discovered that I don't fall off the camera as much doing it on my phone as I used to doing it on my video camera. I should be doing lots of videos next week. Next week will be a massive video week. Right, get those out of the way. Right then, let's see about putting all this together now then. So we're going to want some dimensionals on the back of there. Okay. So that we can stick that over the top of there. For me personally, it's not in the least bit straight actually looking at it. That's going to drive me bonkers. But that's all right, I'm sending it to one of you guys. This one's a bit better. It is a great colour combination for a mail card. Actually, this card is actually the one I designed for Paul's birthday, which was just before Christmas. So he actually had this card for his birthday. And then given the events that overtook us over Christmas with the girls getting chickenpox and what have you, I needed then some quick designs for class, and I was like, oh, I used that design that I did for Paul's birthday card, that would be perfect. So right, now I've stuck those banners on there, I've flipped these over. I'm going to put another 2 dimensionals in the top, and I'm going to pop one on the middle about there. I don't want it fixed at the bottom, I want it sort of loose like a banner, but I don't want it flat only secured at the top. I do want it secured a little bit further down. Okay, so now we can bring our black bases back in. This just sticks on here, so remove those backs. And again, I'm using my grid paper so that I can make everything nice and even and central, because that's how I like it. I'm lining the top of this up with the top of the card base, like so. Do the same for this one. Okay, and then finally I finished it off with some Bermuda twine. I found the Bermuda twine in the drawer. I hope it's still in the catalogue because I like Bermuda twine, so I hope it is. Sitting here thinking I might do this for your Paul's birthday. Absolutely, it's a perfect card for a Paul, I can assure you. Yes, I mean, easily for a female, just do it. I mean, to be honest, you could even send a lady this card. There's no reason why you couldn't. It's not dominatingly masculine. But yeah, pop a bit of pink in there or purple or whatever their favourite colour is. And absolutely. But also, you know what? This is just a useful layout as well. You could just take the sort of the basic layout design and make no end of cards with this layout. Absolutely. So I've got some of the Bermuda Bay Baker's twine, and I've looped it round. I've tied a terrible bow there, which I shall attempt to tidy up a bit, like so. And then you just, and first I'm going to start off, I'm going to trim them both to the same length. Okay, I'm then going to put my finger on the knot quite tight, and then run the tails through between my thumbnail, which is quite long, and like my next finger along. And that's, but you know how florists curl ribbon or long scissors? It effectively does the same thing. And sometimes you find with these twines that they're not spud now, they're on rolls, but the ones wrapped onto cardboard, you'll see that every 6 inches or so you've got, or even 4 inches, you've got that kink where it's been wrapped around. So it just helps to get those out as well. Okay, and then finally, don't know what we've got in there. Out you go. I'm going to make one shorter than the other, but now I've curled them, they've ended up slightly different lengths anyway. So I'm just going to trim that one so it's ever so slightly shorter. That one's a little bit long too, but they ended up different lengths. Jen says, you could redo it with a star punch. Absolutely, that would look fabby too, because you've got that star border punch. Any border punch would work. The other thing you would maybe try it with, and I don't want to show you this whole card, I'm not quite sure how to show you quickly. In the new Nailed It and Build It stamp set, you get a really nice, like a ruler, but it doesn't die cut, it just leaves like an impression. And I've used that as a little border on a card that I'm going to be showing this weekend. I'm going to try and sneak an edge of it into my picture here without giving the whole card away. It's going to be really blurry though, isn't it? I'm trying to get it into focus for you. But can you see I've cut it into there? It's a bit blurry. Which gives it a nice border. So it doesn't even have to be something punched out, but it's just a really fun layout. So I'll go ahead and I'll tie twine on that one later. Because you don't need to see me tie twine first. So there we go. There's today's make. I hope you've liked the card, the layout. Maybe it's given you some ideas. If you've never used a border punch before, hopefully it showed you how to do that. And I hope you've really enjoyed it. Anne says she should be doing chores, but this is fascinating. I've been to your house. It's always immaculately clean. I'm sure you can't possibly have any chores that need doing. Positive. So you come round and do my chores if you like. You froze and I missed the Nailed It idea. Oh, right. Okay. It was really blurry. So, but I'm going to try and sneak that edge in again. It's really hopelessly out of focus. But basically, I just used it as a border on that card. And you could easily do it on this one. Okay. Right then, let's try turning this so we come back to me again. And we'll have another little bit of a chat. Now we'll finish the card. Right then. Okay. So I hope you've enjoyed today's card. So I had a couple of other things to tell you about. I'm trying to remember what they were. So one of the things was, you might have noticed yesterday that I launched the pre-order for my new online class. That's using the window box Thinlits. That's the new hexagon box from Stampin' Up. Oh, that one. Okay. Except the hexagon die isn't in there. I could have sworn I just put it in there before we came online. Where's it gone? Oh, it's behind. It's tucked in there, but it's behind. So that's this one. Okay. Alright, and you know me, I love a die that does a box, can't help myself, but I also like a die that you can do more with. Okay, so you might just be able to see a few sneaky peeks behind me of a few projects that I've done with it. So my online class, it releases on the 1st of February. Yes, Baz, that is the one you recently won. That's the one you won last week. Well done. So as soon as it's ready, you're on my list to send it to you. Just make sure I've got your up-to-date email address. If you just PM me and make sure I've got an up-to-date email address for you, that would be brilliant. And then I can add you to the list so that when that gets sent out, you'll get it on the first day. So you can pre-order that. It's released fully on the 1st of February, but I'm currently offering a pre-order price of just £10. You'll get lots of ideas. I'll show you how to use the die. You can find classes for that. You still get my newsletter, I know, but you're buried in amongst hundreds and hundreds of other people. So, and obviously I won't send it to all of them. So if you could just send it me rather than me trying to find you in amongst the hundreds of people on my newsletter, that'd be great. Thank you. I've forgotten what I was saying. We were talking about the window box thinners. So obviously I'll take you through how to use the window box. Obviously I will. There are obviously tutorials out there freely for that. So that's not what the class is about. I'm not charging you £10 just to teach you how to use the box. But the point is I'm going to teach you how to use the box in different ways. So we're going to make taller boxes. We're going to make lidded boxes. We're going to make wider boxes, not just taller. It can go wider as well. I'm going to show you how to work with patterned paper so that you don't end up with upside down hearts. Okay, I'm going to or half one way and half the other way, because you do have to think a little bit when working with patterned paper and that die. I'm going to show you how to do some fun inserts inside the boxes, how to add shakers to the lids, all kinds of stuff. There'll be fun stuff that will show you a technique that you can use with other dies in your collection, but also show you how to use this one. So some of you have probably done some of my other classes that use partial die cutting, so this gets you some of the ideas as well. So they've all been floating around on my desk and chickenpox kind of stopped me from going any further, but I've managed to get the all the samples done. So now next week I should be recording videos like a mad lady to show you how it's all done, and then get it all written up and made to look edited and made to look really pretty, and then hopefully for the 1st of February it'll be ready to send out. But you can pre-order it now at a special price of £10, because on the 1st of February I'm going to put the price up. Okay, so if you want to get it at the cheaper price, that is the time to get it. The time to get it is now. Okay, you can find a button to purchase it on my blog, and again I'll add one to the blurb at the top of this video when the recording's finished. Okay, the taller boxes are my favourite, especially the ones with the lids. I think they look really nice. So although I quite like the wider one as well. And there'll be lots of ideas, so it'll absolutely be worth your £10, I can assure you. What else did I want to tell you about? I'm sure there's something else. For those of you who are local and who fancy Laughs and Paper Crafts, the next one is 2 weeks today. That's the 3rd of February. The class is always the 1st February. The first Friday of the month, not the 1st February of the month. The first Friday of the month. So that's the 3rd of February. That's 2 weeks today. So we meet in Corston in Rugby. And again, we'll be making 6 projects, 2 each of 3 designs, and you are welcome to join us. If you're not able to join us, but you want to get in on some of those things, if you become a customer, you can join my VIP Stampers Facebook group, and that will at least get you the tutorials. If you purchase Sweet Sentiments or an equivalent amount, which in the UK is £18, you will get entry to February's Crafty Carrot Collective group. That's a group I'm in with 4 other artisan demonstrators from all over the globe. We are designing gorgeous projects for you using Sweet Sentiments, and this is our thank you for purchasing with us. So if you buy Sweet Sentiments or spend an equivalent amount, you get entry into our Facebook group. So we've had a Facebook group running all through January, freely for everybody, which has been using the Weather Together bundle. And I've still got my project to share with you for that. You've got Krista next week sharing with you, and then I'm popping in the week after. And then we'll be moving into private Facebook groups for people who've purchased through us. And we're doing Sweet Sentiments in February. So you've still got time to buy Sweet Sentiments through me, or if you don't live in the UK, through your Crafty Carrot demonstrator. It's Jennifer Frost if you're in Australia, Susan Wong if you're in New Zealand, Cindy Schuster if you're in America, and Krista Fratton if you're in Canada. And I can cover all of the European countries as well, not just the UK. So it's me if you're in Europe, not just the UK. And that will get you into our group for 5 brilliant projects using Sweet Sentiments in February. And then February, I think the purchase is something to do with the new basket set, the new basket of wishes, something like that. I'm not actually sure what it is. And that's our March set of projects. So, but that's all coming together really nicely, and we're working really brilliantly on that, and it's all looking really fabulous. Have you seen some of the promotional photos that Jennifer's been doing? They look really professional. I'm not that smart. So I'm more, believe it or not, I'm more the technical person who's kind of gone, oh, I use this tech, you know, I do this for videoing, or I do this for editing, or I use this software for designing tutorials and things. So I've been more that, and I'm not sure what else help I've been, to be honest. They're all very organised, and I'm just kind of like, yeah, I'll get there eventually. So I've told you about that. And then if you order through me and you spend over £20, which is only £2 more than the Sweet Sentiments anyway, I will send you a free gift as well. Okay, so if you spent £20 with me in any one month, you would get access to my VIP Stampers group, access to the Crafty Carrot, and you'd get a free gift for £20. That's a bargain, absolutely. Or you can come to class for £20 and make the projects and take those home, and you get those free anyway because you're spending the £20 on the order. So either way, you do well. Okay, I'm not sure there's anything else right now. I think it's nearly 11 o'clock. So I'm going to go and sort out that newsletter. I've also got blog posts coming up. I've got a couple of blog hops coming up. You're not going to want to miss out. I'm hopping with the Crazy Crafters on Sunday. That's Kylie Bertucci's Australian team. I'm hopping with them. So that's going to be really fun. They're all casing card of mine. They've all been going through the blog and finding a project of mine to case, and then I've cased me as well. So that's going to be really good fun. I can't wait to see what they've all chosen and why they've chosen it. I think that's going to be fabulous. The Crafty Carrot are having a blog hop next week as well, with using Sweet Sentiments, to encourage you a little bit further that you need to buy it so that you can get in with us for February. And what else? Can't remember. There's bound to be more. There's bound to be more. There's always more projects. Always more projects. So thank you very much for stopping by. I hope you had a good time. Leave a comment to win one of the cards. Get one of the cards sent to you. I'd love to send it to you. So make sure you leave a comment and get in with a chance. And even better still, share for me. Share the video. Even if you think nobody cares or nobody's interested, fill up their newsfeed anyway. Okay? Fill up their newsfeed for them. Show them something that's not Trump. Okay? Because let's face it, our newsfeeds in the next couple of days are going to be full of Trump. And I've got to be better than Trump, surely. Fill me up in their newsfeeds. It'll be a light relief from Trump's inauguration. That would be brilliant. And you'd be doing me a massive favour for my business as well if you'd share me. That would be really kind. Thank you very much. So bye for now, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.